What's up, YouTube? I just came across the Galileo Gambit. Alright. Now, what we have here is a little page I printed out from Rational Wiki. The Galileo Gambit, or Galileo fallacy, is the notion that if your ideas provoke the establishment to vilify or threaten you, you must be right. It refers to Galileo Galilei's famous persecution at the hands of the Roman Catholic Church for his defense of heliocentrism. That was a mouthful. In the face of the orthodox biblical literalism of the day, though some alternative medicine proponents use Ignaz Semmelweis instead of Galileo, people use this argument repeatedly in response to serious criticisms that more often than not, they just don't understand. And it goes like this. They made fun of Galileo and he was right. They make fun of me, therefore I am right. It says here, it is freakishly common among creationists and global warming denialists alike against the evil scientific consensus. I think that basically sums it up. And then, here's a few quotes, and then I'll talk about it a little bit. As Carl Sagan put it, but the fact that some geniuses were laughed at does not imply that all who are laughed at are geniuses. They laughed at Columbus, they laughed at Fulton, they laughed at the Wright brothers. But they also laughed at Bozo the Clown. Another formal quote, apparently attributed to Robert L. Park, states, "It is not enough to wear the mantle of Galileo that you be persecuted by an unkind establishment. You must also be right." And then another quote. To quote Stephen Novella, "The chief problem with the Galileo Gambit is the failure to understand the difference between well-established scientific law and religious dogma." Keep that in mind. Alright. I want my listeners, viewers, to understand that, yeah, it is a fallacy. It's true. Just because the establishment ridicules you and tells you how much of an idiot or uneducated you are doesn't necessarily make you correct. But at the same time, how are we to know? We have to work on stuff regardless of if we're laughed at. You have to have some sort of determination about what it is you're working on. As well, working on things online these days, it doesn't mean you go to forums and tell people about it. I learned the hard way. It doesn't mean that you make comments on YouTube videos. Working on stuff means you try to get as much information as you can from every single source you can get your hands on, and then trying to put it into a cohesive structure, the idea into a cohesive structure, and then publishing that idea for other people to understand. And make sure you have a lot of sources in there. Make sure you do your best. Make sure you edit all the work. Make sure there's no grammar problems, no miscommunication. All that takes a lot of energy, time, and, effort and determination. And what that does is prevent you from falling into this logical fallacy kind of thing, because it really just makes it to where you don't have the time to concern yourself with whether or not you're right or wrong, or the time for which maybe you would be laughed at. Working hard on something will prevent you from falling into this little gambit type thing. It's a very powerful thing that people can do, is actually work hard on something, because it takes your mind away from other nonsense. Now, I see a lot of stuff like this with the scientific community, calling people cranks and crackpots, and just basically being nasty towards others when they have different ideas. I think they're entitled to do that, but at the same time, it's just a waste of time. I wouldn't I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother with that kind of worrying about that stuff. I wouldn't concern yourself with it. I think I should make another video on censorship, because a lot of those people that ridicule and stuff, they're in positions of power, and they like to use anonymous names, and they like to use various avenues of censorship. And, well, you know, that's off topic for this little thing. The Galileo Gambit. Alright, today is February 25th, 2015.